Hi-lo, everybody. It's your boy Sam again, aka the Train Mother Main. My bridges and glidges and midges and digits. Hey, trains, hey. This is definitely going to be the biggest layout update in the short time I've worked on this layout. I guess it's been like a year and a half. I think I started it August of 2021, so going on 2 years, year and a half solid, but in a short amount of time I've gotten a ton of progress done. It's been about 2 solid months, I think just over 2 solid months since I did a layout update and tour. So I'm going to take you through every corner of the layout and show you what we've been up to, because again, there has been a ton of progress, as you might already be able to tell. So we will start down here at the, as I like to call it, the unofficial name, but the Albertville yard. Just gonna start right down here at the corner. So I went in here and finished ballasting all the rest of the track and all of the rough ballast spots. So all the track work is 100% complete. I still have a little bit of grass and weedy weathering I'd like to do, but there's no rough spots in the ballast anymore, and especially in a yard area with so many tracks, that always bugged me. Fixing ballast spots on the main lines is easy because it's just a little spot here, a little spot there. So I have to do that for the rest of the layout, but the biggest, most troublesome section is complete. The separation of the scenes, just the big hill, finally got around to scenicking that. Different shades of grass and bushes and rocks and stuff. I think it came out really well. I'm very, very happy with it. All the different contours, and it's very 3D. So that is a huge obstacle out of the way, but it really brings the scene together now. Gonna need a couple hundred trees to kind of fill that in, but that is a story for another day. I'm still exploring my best option, whether it's buying a couple hundred trees, expensive and cheap, a mixture, or making them. I'm not sure. So if you have any opinions on making trees or where I can find quality trees for cheap, please let me know. So moving right along, I guess I'll show. So the old yard, well, it's the same yard. This used to be the furthest out service track, and obviously terminates down here. I have 4 stub end tracks now. I added this. I had all this space, room for a whole nother track, maybe 2 if I squeezed them in, but I added this long service track, just more car storage. So we have all that new track over here now. And then in here, where this siding comes off, this used to just be all empty, and we just had these 2 tracks and no man's land here and no man's land here. So in addition to adding this, it's the longest of the stub end yard tracks, I also added another short little stub end siding just to get extra storage in and make a good use of the space. And then I've done a lot of scenicking up in here, and we're going to put some more junk and wheels and whatever. We'll figure that out. But so I increased the storage of the yard by, I don't know, 20 cars at least, which is super awesome. And it really fills out the scene all the way up to the edge now. In conjunction with finishing the ballast extra projects, I went over and did a lot of scenics in this area too, in between the tracks and the yard and behind the car shop and diesel shop back there, which we'll get to in a second. So this scene is, I don't want to say it's close to done, but it's close to done, besides from now like the minuscule mini details, and I'm very happy with it. As I added this turnout in here for the new stub end track, I still had all of this area down here. There was no track, and none of this or this was here. This was all no man's land with rail and maintenance of way equipment and old switches and stuff. I wanted like a deadline slash maintenance of way slash kind of just general purpose, a crap track as I like to call it. So I bought a couple more switches, and it's not a crossover per se, but added another turnout. Still have to work on this section of track, make it a little more ballasted and more derelict looking, but I added this little, I just call it the maintenance of way or the crap track deadline. So I have even more storage down here, but really add some realism to the scene. Got the little maintenance of way or yard goat engine chilling over there. all kinds of pieces of track, wheels, old rail, old pulled up switch with another stub end that existed at one point. Got a little caboose storage building out of an old caboose that never ran properly. Got some cabooses on here, some old ripped up rail, and then the snowplow caboose. And then these two engines run, but I'm gonna weather them up and just run them as I do, which isn't very often, and just keep them as part of the deadline, so to speak. So not sold on it going straight up to the wall. It kind of looks unrealistic. I might just continue off this curve and just have it like curve, or just go straight like with an angle and cut the track right at the edge, similar to how I did over here. So it's like, you know, not straight to the edge, but turning off the edge. Because I'm not really a fan of how it looks going straight up like that. I'd rather just have it, you know, with some cross bucks, with some railroad ties in there to make it just shut off. So that came out really well. I'm excited for that. Finally got a fuel tank kit for the diesel fueling track pad. Of course, I have 3 engines parked there now. Put this little storage shed there. So I'm going to detail these, weather these, and get a few more fueling station type accoutrements to kind of fill out that scene. But I think it's coming out pretty awesome. So moving right down along, as you can see, I've got a ton of rolling stock. Most of my rolling stock's actually currently on the layout, which is nice. I've been running trains, doing operations. Down here by the car shops, done a lot of work. There's cars and a locomotive in there, so I'm not going to lift the building up, but I finally sanded the rails out and painted the shop floor in there. So if you could see that, it does look like concrete. I have to do a little more detail work around it, but so the car shop is functional, and the diesel shop. This fuel tank used to be over there at the fuel pad, but I like the look of it back here more. They would have oil and gas and stuff in there. So that's been a lot of fun to watch this scene come to life. And I've done a lot of detail work around the building too. You know, bushes growing up between the side of the building and whatever's parked there at the moment. Right now it's my little Bachmann steamer, which I absolutely love. Okay, I just derailed cars with my camera, but that's fine. So all in all, this section, aside from some minuscule details and things that I will purchase over time, is nearing real completion. I still have some work to do, but I got a bulk of the work done on it recently, past few weeks, and I'm really just loving the way it has come out. Really came to life, and then the trees will totally make it pop even more. The lumber mill has been kind of in this same state of near completion, so to speak, for a while. I did add some more details. Again, I want to go finish doing the ballast work, make it look proper. Added some more logs, pieces of wood added to this sawdust pile. I finished the road going up to the building in here. I did a lot of the scenery work around the buildings, so there's really no bare spots anymore. This is all scenicked up. Like I said, aside from some minuscule details, just some very minor patchwork. I'm going to do like the ballast patchwork I was talking about and like scenic patchwork. I'm going to do all that at one time around the whole layout. Just take a whole Saturday or Sunday and get rid of all the existing scenics and ballast that's already done and make it 100% accurate. So it's all really come together and I'm very, very happy with it. I'm going to put the rest of my N-scale fence like here, I think, just to kind of split the scenes a little bit, even though it makes sense. A lot of rail yards have a big industry close by, if not based out of it. So this place obviously would see several cars a day. So not really perturbed that it butts right up into the scene because, again, the yard is based. There's always local industries, well, in a lot of cases. So really come together. You've seen most of this before, but I did add some more. Like I said, super happy with how it's come out. I've done a lot of logging scenes. I think one on every layout, and this is definitely the best of them all. Not to mention my skills are way further along than they were. Did some more just kind of fine-tuned scening in here. And again, I'm going to do, I used to do Foam-ageddon when I would do all the foam in one day or over a weekend when I was carving foam. And I'm going to do ballast and scenics-ageddon once I get to the point of I just need to fix the rest of that stuff. So not much to be done, but in every scene, you know, that'll be a little time consuming. So nothing's really changed over here, just some minor stuff. My fiance is still working on her farm scene. She's worked on a couple of the building kits, and I'm waiting for her to kind of put some time into it whenever she feels like it. I'm not touching this. She wanted a plot. I gave it to her, and it's hers to do. But it's kind of starting to look more like a farm. So she's got some other building kits and cows and a horse fence and all kinds of stuff. So coming along pretty good. This was all her. So I've said it in all the other videos. This section was always going to be done last. As you can see, I've scenic'd up to here and beyond. And then where the abandoned rail line goes across to the trestle, that was kind of the divider of what I've worked on so far. And I hadn't touched this in forever, but in the past week, especially the past several days, I finally filled in what's going to be the big lake with plaster. There's going to be a couple little islands. It's kind of hard to see now because it's 3D, but it's not scenic or anything. So I'm now in the beginning stages of researching the best way to paint or scenic all of this prior to pouring the water. And then I'm going to pour the water, paint the rest of the rocks, and then I'll do my scenics of this scene, the initial big scenics, and then go back and fix it in Scene-ageddon. So from here all the way across, we're gonna have a little dock here and some fishermen, some people in boats. The light's not picking it up well because it's white, but gonna be a pretty large lake with the 2 bridges. I got the legs ready to be installed. So I really need to figure out how I'm gonna do the water. I've never done a water feature before on any of my 4 or 5 layouts. So gonna figure out how much water I need, the best way to paint and scenic this prior to the water, get the water in, and then I got to do it all step by step. So either prior to the water it's ready to go, or after the water I'm ready to move on with the scene. So honestly, it's a big mental block for me doing the water feature because I never have, but I think with the 2 bridges, the rocks, and the farm scene, the docks, the fishermen, the boats, I think it's going to look pretty cool. So excited about that, and there's finally been progress on it. Just got to figure out the water. So moving along, I worked finally in the bridge pier. It's crumbling and rusty. I still have some more detail work to do to that, but obviously it's the abandoned, end-to-end rail line. It would go that way beyond and go further wherever. So I did make the old cement abutment or pier. I still want to weather it up more and then, scenic around it, but weathered the bridge and all that previously, so super excited about how this scene's going to come out. And again, when I showed you this in one of the previous videos when I installed it, I think it's just a great use of the space and extra old scrap parts I've saved. I never get rid of anything when I rip up layouts. I save it all because and a lot of it from previous layouts is being used as we speak. So from here all over is finally being worked on, which is nice. Nothing's really happened here in the cut, as I like to call it, but I did take every tree that I own and start to fill in the island and the ridge over here. So it's added a lot of depth to it, but I realized just how many trees I'm gonna need, hundreds, maybe 1,000, I don't even know, to fill in the rest of the island, then here, and then that whole side, and then along the back of the yard, as well as in just general flat spots. So that's going to be expensive no matter what route I choose and a challenge, but still probably my favorite scene on the layout. Obviously with the passing siding that's ripped up, so it's just a stub end siding for mainly maintenance of way cars. A couple tie gondolas on there right now. But it's really come together, especially with the trees. It's really making the layout pop and kind of bringing my vision to life. So super excited on that. Totally awesome. Very happy with it. But yeah, I'm going to need hundreds of trees, if not thousands. I didn't show the other side of the tunnel, but again, on this side of the tunnel, I did some more scenery, patchwork, ballast pile rails, fixed up the track look, did some more weathering and scenics up to it. So this side and the other side looks, identical, but not the same, but I did the same type things. So this is really coming together as well. And again, I've scenic'd both sides, gonna do Scene-ageddon and finish it all, but, and then I got to do the other side, but everything over that way from like here over is primarily done. Just need the Scene-ageddon. I guess I lied when I said I've touched every corner of the layout, because for the 12th video in a row probably. I haven't touched the mine scene at all. That'll probably be the last scene I work on. I'm super juiced on finishing the bridge and water feature. And then I already know what I'm going to do here, but it's just not coming together yet in my mind. I need a few more buildings and things, just like I do over at the fuel depot and the yard and car shop, in diesel shop. So a few more buildings and things I need to buy for fueling station, car, diesel shop, and then a few more mine buildings or little details I want to buy. And I'll get to this scene eventually, but haven't really touched much here. Track's all in and whatnot. Can still do the ballast and whatnot, but I'm not going to scene that up till probably dead last. So I'll do the ballast, scenic in, and then I'll scenic this all a blast, and everything else will be done, so I can just do this on its own time. But yeah. Moving over to the branch line, the industrial branch. Worked a lot on making the cement plant. I still have to like secure the buildings and kit bash the elevator to make it look proper, but really tried to make this pop more detail. Got some hoppers in there now. Need to get a few more little buildings or scenic details for this as well. I've been shopping on eBay for deals, and I'll probably just after Christmas go really shop and spend money, buy the extra buildings and details for that, and the mine, maybe some lumberyard stuff, but I think I'm good there. And then the fuel pad and the diesel shop. So got some stuff to buy still, but again, all these buildings, I've had most of them from previous layouts, and then I have bought things for this layout. And eventually when I move, or maybe if I get sick of this layout, which I definitely don't think I will, I'll still be able to take all of what I buy for future layouts. So spending money is not a challenge. I just haven't been lately much. I bought a bunch of rolling stock, but I'm not going to do any rolling stock reviews or anything in this. So yeah, scenicked up a lot in here. I did add this, I don't know if you want to call it a team track or a transload. Just have a few CSX box cars on here right now. I had an extra turnout, Pico number, I think it's a number 6 or a number 4, I forget. I think it's a number 6. I had an extra one, so I just threw it in here with some scrap track. It's powered and whatnot. And I'm not sure if I'm going to make like a loading dock or some kind of transload facility, or just consider it a team track. But again, just a little bit more storage down here. We have the little industrial yard, whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 tracks for these 3 industries down here, 4 industries. I considered adding a whole nother industry right in here, but it's a very tight fit. So I figured team track or storage or transload. Again, I might buy something to make it transloady or fashion something. I'm not sure. Just add that to the list. But done a lot of the track and scenic again on this little yard as well. And I really love it, especially considering my Albertville main yard is not super huge. A lot of the capacity can be down here, which is also proper because it only is the cars that would be going to these industries, which is hoppers and then box cars. Hoppers at the cement plant, and then box cars and or gondolas at these 2 industries. It's not a fruit packing place. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but it'll take either hoppers or box cars. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it as a fruit packing place, but it's going to take either box cars or flat cars, gondolas. So yeah, in the warehouse and all that. Put a little bit more detail down in here. Just again, more things I have to buy or fashion. And I know I've said that buying more buildings and little kits and details, but now that like the fabric and foundation is primarily done, I'm at the point now, like I said, just to go buy a bunch of things to make it more realistic. And I don't have as much work to do. So spending the money and then adding those things to the scenes is kind of the rewarding part of the layout. When it's operational, I can do operations, I can run trains, and it's all already kind of come together. So super excited about that. And yeah, again, this yard for a secondary yard, just for the little industries, as you can see, I only have box cars and hoppers here. Got a couple RS3s that are based just out of this yard for switching these industries, doing these operations. So I plan to do some operation videos soon. You know, I'll switch out these industries and then get a train ready for the local that'll come through. The local will drop off new loads or empties. We'll switch the industries again, and then I'll put the local together, switch the mine, the lumberyard, do all that. So we'll do some operations, base everything out of there, and or base everything out of here and hit everything in between. So also got some other new pieces of artwork and stuff. I know in my big layout reveal, the basement was kind of not decorated and the layout was being put back together slowly. But the train area of the basement, the rest is kind of just man cave, fishing, outdoors, because that's my other side of life. Basement's really come back together. It's been several months now. Super happy, no more anxiety or cluster F everywhere. That's kind of it. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately, like out of nowhere. I don't really post regularly, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I make these videos for me as like a video journal of progress I've made. I've done some how-tos and some reviews and tutorials and shown myself working on it, but the reason why I started this channel, and it's awesome to go back almost 10 years now, a year from now will be the 10-year anniversary of the channel. The reason I make these is to document my layout progress. So I've gotten a lot of subscribers lately. Not sure how. A lot of the video views are really creeping up, which is sweet, kind of organically out of nowhere. So I appreciate you all being here. If you see anything you like or don't like, want to see more of, don't want to see again, if you want reviews or how-tos, let me know everything in the comments. A lot of people hate on me and criticize me and call me mean names and say mean things. Continue to do that. It doesn't bug me at all. I'm not doing this to impress people. Again, I'm doing this for myself, but also a lot of people ask me questions and get something out of it. So I appreciate all of you watching, new and old, especially Ellery Parsons. Shout out to Ellery Parsons. He's my biggest fan by 10 miles. So thank you all for being here. Tips or tricks, Tony Hawk style, let me know. Again, if you see something you like or don't like, want to see more of, never want to see again. I'm not changing the intro. I'm always going to have an annoying intro. So if you don't like that, you can keep hating on me for it, but it's not going to change. Let me know in the comments. Tell me whatever you want. Good, bad, want to see, don't want to see. Criticisms, things I should change, things I should do, things you like. I think I've said it all like 3 times already, but the layout is really moved along. So I hope you appreciate this update. I hope you like what you see. I will probably do one more video either by the end of the year or at the first of the year, because now that it's winter time here, it's layout season. So as you can see, we've gotten a lot done recently. So expect more soon, but don't hold me to a date, because I always say I'm going to upload 2 videos a month or once a month, and I never hold to any schedule. So when I feel like it's worth showing something again, I will. And you can count on seeing it again, just not when. So I appreciate all of you again. I hope you have a nice, warm holiday if I don't see you before then. Thanks for being here, and we will see you next time. TradeMain out.